All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. And welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. We got a good one today. As always, talking about the NFT market, talking about markets in general, talking about crypto. Just have so much fun on this show. And I'm so excited to just kick back with the boys and chat about it because there's a lot to catch up on. In case you missed our last solo show, we were cut short. Thank you, Restream. Hopefully they got that stuff sorted out. And if this is your first time listening or watching RareFUD Radio, please make sure to drop a subscribe down below. Hit that little red button. Hit that bell notification so you know whenever we do go live. We do go live every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do upload the episodes shortly after over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Joining me, as always, is my wonderful friend, my brother, my co-host, Dorian. Dorian, how you doing today, my man?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Every day is a holiday, and happy to be back for another one, man. It's like, feel like when we have projects on to talk about like their projects, don't get me wrong, it's great to have like Jake and everybody come on, but I miss chopping it up with you guys. There's so much going on in the market, and I'm ready to hop into it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is fun. I love giving good projects a platform to talk about everything, but I love just chatting with you guys, man. It's just nice to talk about the general NFT ecosystem, especially on Solana. Talk a little bit about markets. And of course, we have our market guru, the whiz kid himself, Mr. JoeSol.
Hey.
Joe, how you doing today?
My guys, good morning. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. We get to have a solo show today, talk a little bit about NFTs. I'm actually starting to warm up to them a tad. I'm still waiting for a few different factors. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Hopefully Restream doesn't cut us off before Alpha Corner, but we do have some market overview to talk about, some market summary as we normally do. And let's jump right into it. Jumping over to TXO. This is where we get most of our market aggregated stats. TXO.com/stats. If you want to follow along, we are looking at 182,000 Solana volume. Pretty healthy, pretty good. We're almost back at that 200K mark. That would be where I would be more bullish, especially at these price levels. We are looking at about a 65% share for Magic Eden, 20% share for Coral Cube and Magic Eden AMM. Still don't know who uses that or if they just get listed on Magic Eden. How that's categorized, I'm not sure. Hades swap down to 8.56%. That's interesting to me. I kind of want to look into that. The thing that does make me interested is because Tensor is up to 3%. So I think if you combine the two, because they're pretty much integrated at this point, you're looking at close to about 11.5% market share. That's about in line actually with what I would expect. I was hoping they would get more market share by now. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. Let's get your guys' takes. Dor, then Joe. How you feeling about the market right now?
Man, overall, the NFT market's kind of like in a slump. I think this has a lot to do with once we saw that initial SOL pump from 16 all the way up to 26 or something, we saw NFTs pull back. And just because people are uncertain about what's going on with SOL right now, NFTs are kind of hurting. We're seeing prices either stabilize on floor price or continue to pull back. So I don't think anything's going to happen on the NFT side until we see a steady range of SOL price so people can understand. It's like, okay, we're good to trade JPEGs again. In terms of the marketplace, yeah, man, it's surprising that Hate Swap doesn't have a higher market share, especially with Magic Eden re-implementing fees. But maybe this just shows the importance of how to use, like the importance of like a better UI. Like I use hate swap, but it's really not the easiest thing to understand. So I think maybe an improvement on UI would help with that. But Tensor has a good UI. I don't know if people find that complicated, but yeah, man, I mean, I'm bullish on the night market to integrate both of them, so hopefully that comes out and works. But yeah, man, overall, I'm feeling fine about the market. I can get into the alpha corner a little bit later about what I've been doing to try to hedge against the volatility. But yeah, I think right now it's just a slump, but you know, we'll get out of it eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I do have some thoughts on night market. We can share that in the alpha corner, but Joe, I want to kick it over to you. How are you feeling about the market right now?
Yeah, man. Excuse me. I'm feeling good. We'll see coming into this meeting what macro is going to look like. There's been a lot of movement between, speculations on what this is going to bring and what type of shift we'll see. From then, I am warming up to NFTs, like Bison said. I think we've seen the sell-off capitulation, much like we've seen FTX. We kind of had another kind of quick event like that. And everything's starting to reaccumulate big wallet wise for certain blue chips. A lot of these projects will go to zero. It won't last a year, but I think there's a select few that have a shot at building something that's real. And those are the ones I'm looking to grab again and enter back in. I think we can talk about the exact ones around Alpha Corner later in the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. This guy in chat is asking if Drunken Ape was booked today. I don't know how they got our booking link. I have not been contacted by them. They did book through us. I canceled saying we need more information on their platform. So we can talk over Twitter DMs if you guys want to talk, but I need to know more about your project. I've not talked to you before, and anybody who comes on our show, I at least like to have a conversation with them. So okay. Let's get back into normal flow. Let's talk about some market headlines. I think the number one market headline right now, the one that's dominated volume, is Bonks. So Bonks did reveal a lot of mixed opinions on it. Not sure how I feel about it. I think my valuation standpoint with Bonks was always going to be, are they going to look better than Lily? Because for me, it's a very somewhat similar art style. Obviously Lily to me is like, the pit. I don't understand. I still don't understand how they're still 7 Sol, but Lily to me is some of the best looking art I've seen. So, I look at Lily and I said, there's no way that it's going to be better. It's a larger collection size. It was valued 2 times over the floor price. To me, that never made sense. And of course, on reveal, they've dropped precipitously. I mean, they are down like 12 Sol on the revealed ones, 10 Sol on the unrevealed ones. And I don't know how I feel about the art. I will kick it over to you guys first. Let's go Joe first, then Door. Well, how do you guys feel about this Bonks art?
It ain't it, bro. It ain't it. That's all I gotta say. It ain't it, dude. Listen, we all know the play. It was speculation hype behind Bonks. Hex timed it perfectly. Got enough big name artists because that's a big meta right now. Like, if you have a project with a lot of artists producing traits or said what, and kind of like the YouTubes, we've seen people were comfortable with that meta holding on as a raffle ticket, basically as for a 1-of-1 that will give you a premium on your entry price. And then you saw what was inevitable, right? Commons being common and being floored for instant liquidity and getting out to the next play because there's no real point in holding one unless you were getting a 1-of-1, right? Unless they bring something down the line where there's a fat like LP of Bonk and you can stake them or something, maybe we'll see another rise or deflation until they come out with another hype utility speculation play. I don't see them not doing anything but bleeding.
Yeah. I think I'm in the let's go to you, Door. Let's go to you and I'll share my thoughts.
Dude, Joe hit it on the nail on the head perfectly. Like, I messed up on Bonk Z because I faded it on the way up, which I need to learn not to do. Just because there was a lot of narrative push behind, and that's why we saw it to skyrocket to what? I think like 20? It hit like 20, or at least between that 15 to 20 range. Because of the 1-on-1 artists and stuff, but it's like the long-term sustainability of it, because this space moves so fast and even people forget about Bonk now. It's like, what provides value back to this collection other than narrative hype. So I think we could see a pump from this collection in the future, but that won't come back around until a dog narrative or bonk narrative comes back. So I think the play was to ride that narrative, that momentum up, sell your bags, and probably even cut it before reveal. There's very few projects out there that post-reveal, they continue to pump. But yeah, overall, the art looks fine to me. I mean, like I'm come used to in Solana, it's like not to really expect much from, and in NFTs overall, not just Solana, but like, I'm not a big art maxi. Like if I really want to buy a project for the art, I'd pick up a one of one. So yeah.
Yeah. Door, I'm in the same. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to kind of give the perception that I think Bonks did a really good job. In some aspects. In the art aspect, no, I don't think so. But I want to give them their flowers because one, they were able to capitalize and do a quick turnaround time on getting a mint out in a very seemingly fair way to me. I mean, they did reward their holders. I think that's important. And it was bonk. It was bonk related. It was a bonk burning mechanism. It did rally the community. They did get a ton of artists to submit one-on-ones. And so for that alone, I still consider this a dub. Now, what I don't consider a dub is I think they were parading around too much for reveal, saying that this was like a dub for Omni Collective. I think their art studio, and the one-on-ones look sick. I think a lot of these one-on-one artists, dude, some of them are insanely good. But the base model is not it. And I have to agree with Joe. Like for me, and I know they were saying like, yeah, we were going for like a Rayman style hand, the floating hand controversy that's going on right now, which I love. Honestly, I think that's fun. I think that's cute.
No,
but I don't
like the floating hand. Like I have it's just that arm.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's the arm part. Why would you make the arm looking like it's going down? You have the appendage. What are they like amputated from here to here, and then the arms floating up? Like and so I think if you're going to go with that style, you need to be like cohesive throughout that whole like this is what we're going for. If we're going for the Rayman style, make like little shoulder nubs or something like that. I don't know, that would be kind of cute. Like yeah, that's where the hands are going. It's ghost limbs, whatever.
They might want to use UGS's layering system to double check that, man.
And honestly, that might be a dub for UGS, and they really need to highlight that. But yeah, I think that's where I get to it. Is that one, artist objective. Two, I do think this is a net positive. Three, I think if you bought these unrevealed bonks and you didn't get out quick, learn from your mistakes. Learn that this was always going to dump on reveal. Your chances of getting a one-on-one, even when they increase the pool to 100 one-on-ones, I think is what it ended up at, were slim to none. I mean, it was a 15,000 size collection. So I'm bullish that you get iterations, and I hope that Omni Creative Collective, I can't remember if it's creative or collective, but I hope they learn from this experience and know how to iterate moving forward on like, hey, what did we learn? I just hope it doesn't go to their head that this is like just an overarching dub, right? And that's like the one thing that, we'll see on their next collection. We'll see if it works. But overall, I think it was a net positive. I mean, the people who got to mint, I think it was fun. I think it was a good bonk burning mechanism. I think it was a good way to unify a lot of these one-on-one. Dude, there's this one guy or girl, Nun Haley, I think is Nun Haley on Twitter. Nobody knew who this artist was until they dropped their bonk, and it was insanely good. And then I just saw their one-on-one on exchange art go to 146 SOL. That alone right there, if we want to take away all what you consider a dub for what the bonk's base model looks like, that alone is a dub. That to me, I can applaud that all day long. You just made this artist and gave them a platform to stand on. So for that, I give them their flowers. But yeah, the art itself, not it for me, but art's subjective, right? So, if it's for you, great. If not, no worries.
Yeah, I think Bonks is a clear example of like, hey, if you're looking to make money, go ahead. But like, it's really important to define your thesis before you pick up these things. Like, if you really thought this was going to continue to run post reveal, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know much of the roadmap, but from the marketing side of it, it didn't seem like they were trying to build anything crazy sustainable or do anything out of the ordinary. So it's just like, take it for what the project was, get in and get out. It's like some of these things is like, you need to recognize what plays are get in and get out plays and long-term holds. This was a get in and get out.
Yep, I agree. And I think, you have to go through some of these iterations in order to kind of learn for yourself. And sometimes it's hard, the hard way to do so, but you have to learn through example and trial. So yeah, I think this is one of those tracks. But talking about art, some of my favorite art on Solana that had just a bad narrative around it, still does. I see a lot of FUD on the timeline, is Mindfolk. Mindfolk did mint today, Mindfolk Renaissance, which we did talk to Ivan about. If you missed that episode, go check back. I think it was about 5 episodes back. Ivan's a good dude. I like his passion. I like the fact that he's been just grinding, trying to figure out how to unify the collection in some way, shape, or form. They did have a ton of applications on Connect. If you missed that part too, 43,000, which alone was enough to drop my jaw. That was insane. And so but here's the thing is I didn't mint. I'll tell you guys why, but I kind of want to go into Door first, then Joe. Thoughts on Mindfolk? Thoughts on where we at with this?
Yeah, man. I like Ivan, dude. It's things got away from him during the staking meta and during the staking meta or whatever, and that was when we saw Mindfolk pump to like what 250, 300 SOL. But even when the floor price pulled back sub 10, dude didn't go anywhere. He's been continuing to build, trying to like be innovative and figure out ways to bring value to the holders and continue working on Mindfolk because this is what he loves to do. And if you ever listen to him, even on our show or any other space, it's like he's really passionate about it and really wants to build a long-term sustainable project. So I got, I don't know, wood chop listed or whatever we're calling it. And I minted just to support him, man. I want to see good founders in this ecosystem succeed. And I hate the FUD that's going on the timeline right now because people are so critical. It's like, oh, Ivan's just this scam SPL token project is now minting a 10K collection just to build some art studio. And they're just like FUDding the crap out of him. But how many projects come out on a daily basis that literally do nothing for Solana, that only extract ecosystem from, extract liquidity from the ecosystem, that mint out and literally rug? Nobody ever talks about those. What about Great Goats? Great Goats has some astronomical trading volume. Where's that project at? Hello Panther. The list goes on and on about all these projects that where the founders got tired or couldn't take it. Nothing against founders with mental stress getting tired and leaving. But at the same time, it's like, stop, I say, negatively and FUDding the founders that are currently here trying to bring value to the ecosystem and use NFTs in a unique way.
Yeah. Okay. Good take. Let's go over to Joe. Joe, what do you think about Mindfolk? Did you mint? And where do you think it's going?
Yeah, so I did not mint. I had some stuff IRL. I probably would have minted just because I had some liquidity, and I'm down to mint all these projects coming up just to kind of as a back test to kind of talk about on the show as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? They are persisting through a lot of FUD and resistance, but they still minted out, and they're on secondary. And a lot of times when you have this much, and a lot of these times when you have that much FUD, it creates kind of that effect of like when you're water rafting and someone falls over the side and you got to push them underwater in order to pick them back up. So it's like that down pressure drives so hard that you're going to see that rebound. So I think that's what you're going to see here. And then with that, the floor price above mint, we'll see if they can build and create a utility and community effect that can sustain, and then they can really pick back up and right their wrongs and change the narrative. And I'm optimistic for them. I don't wish any hate on anybody. So hopefully they can pull it off, man.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same boat, Joe. Looking at it. So I kind of stood back and said, one, did talking to Ivan kind of blind my bias, which it did. Dude, Ivan's just such a likable guy, talking to him. So I was like, okay, let's take a step back and do I really want to commit liquidity to us? Because I think right now, one, I'm a trader by heart. And so I had to preserve lick and want to make good plays. And that's just me. So looking at this, the one thing that really scared me off, and this was like 90% of my reasoning, was the mint price. knowing the mint price of a lot of these upcoming projects, so outside of Motley, which was also very expensive, and we'll get into that in a second. I still buy it. You guys saw live on stream. I still bought 10 of them. So
yeah, I got 12, dog. We can get into that.
we can certainly talk about that, but I think just knowing what the cost of some of these upcoming mints are, Wolf Capital is going to be between 2 and 3 from what I've heard. Bodago is going to be in that same range. Heist, I know we're going to be between 2 and 3. And so I look at that and I say 4.4, that's a little too much for me for really good art and a DAO that, it is making a really cool art studio. I love their art. And I've said it multiple times on record. I think it is one of my favorite generative art collections on Solana. So for me, it was more about the mint price, and then just kind of looking at it like, I think I'll wait and see what happens with it. I figured they were going to mint out. They had 43,000 applications. And so I'm happy to support, but I think I want to see what price action dictates before I ape into it. Like I said, love the art, love that they're going to the DAO. I think that the last part of it too was 80% is going to the team, which is a lot. If you want to calculate that out, they had about 6,000 to mint, I believe. 4,000 was allocated already to the capsules. And so if you calculate that out, 6,000 times 4.4, you're looking at what, 26,400 SOL. Times that out by, let's say, 24 right now. $24, $633,600. Then times that by 0.8, you're looking at over $500,000 for the team. That's a little bit worrying to me. I would like to see more contributed to the project itself, because they did get in on Mindful when royalties were high. Then enforceable, they still made plenty of money, I'm sure. And so that was a lot for me to say, like, it's a lot of money. If it was a 50-50 split, I think I'd be more comfortable with it. But 80% going to the team rather than 20% to the DAO, I think the DAO needs to be funded more if you really want to proliferate what you're trying to do with Mindfolk. And I think 20% isn't enough, because that has to be taxed too. And now I don't know South African taxes or the tax code over there, but yeah, for me, it was like, I will wait from the sidelines to see. I knew it was going to mint out, so I'm happy to support and everything like that, but I will support from afar right now. Kind of want to see what price action does and just go from there.
So that you're that's a fair take, Bison. Like, I'm not going to complain, like criticize that. That's fair why you didn't mint. For me, it was just like more of a show of support, and sometimes I think that's more important than immediately taking profits. Is like, what's 4.4 SOL compared to the project not minting out? And I want to see Ivan succeed just because I did talk to him. So it's a little bit biased, but I guess probably one of my greatest strengths and weaknesses when trading is that I tend to invest heavily in people. So sometimes that wrecks me if I invest in the wrong people, but 9 times out of 10, which I've been pretty profitable in this space by doing so, it's led me in the right way. I haven't gone heavy in this project yet. Just minting 4.4 SOL wasn't going to be like the biggest L in my book. So it's like, I'm minting in hopes of, hey, it goes up a little bit, like maybe 6-7 SOL. Go ahead, take 3 profit. Why not? And then if come back in a couple months, and then maybe even going heavy there. But yeah, man, I definitely feel you on that take, and I think it's solid.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for post reveal. Is kind of where I'm leaning towards. Where I want to see price action to post or up until reveal, and then see where they're at post reveal. And I think that's when I would make an educated decision.
Yeah.
For me right now, just in preserve capital mode. And that's mainly attributed to one, y'all, I know I'm a lead of Heist. I am the right-hand man to Juice, who is going to definitely be taking the mantle on that. I want Heist. I'm saving a lot of lick for Heist, man.
No.
I get plenty, but I want more. And I will be trading. I shouldn't say I'll be trading that. I don't want to FUD our own project, but like I want to play this game to its fullest extent. So
same, dude.
I think I'm just waiting towards that. Bodagos, Wolf Capital.
Yep.
There's just a lot of mints on the horizon. I just need to be careful on where I spend my lick, because I don't want to be overexposed. We saw what happened with Pop Heads. I aped into that. That's sitting at 0.7 when they were a 3 SOL mint. Yikes, dude. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I think right now I'm just in capital preservation mode where Sol's at a very interesting level. And I know Joe will agree too, where I want to see a break and hold to 26. I called for it too soon on the timeline. and quickly cut my losses real quick when I saw, the candle just invalidated it quickly. But I'm just like, if we break and hold 26, I'm more comfortable that we are going to find that same range again we had for 6 months, in which case I think Solana NFTs will start catching up to price. And that's when I think I will absolutely start, blowing all the slick I have sidelined into NFTs. Joe, I kind of want your thoughts on that real quick before we move on.
Can you repeat the last 3 minutes? My Wi-Fi kicked me out and kicked me back in. I'm so sorry. Not 3 minutes. Last 30 seconds. Obviously not 3 minutes. So
I said I'm kind of waiting for a key level to break, like 26, which was our range low for 6 months, before I really ape into Solana NFTs again.
NFTs. Okay.
I want to see that range. And right now we're just at an interesting level where I could see Solana going back down to 18, maybe even $12 or something like that, or $15. So, somewhere in the teens. Whereas, it's like at an indecisive point. And I think that's where I'm like, I'm just going to hold on to liquidity right now. And I'd rather be more liquid in Solana than NFTs.
Yes. Agreed. I'm right there with you. I couldn't agree more, because right now we're in that indecision point where I don't think people want to be too risk on. Even if they're in Solana, it sounds weird. I know that's an underlying risky asset, but like NFTs is a lever bet on that. So I don't think they want to be that risk on with their underlying asset. So that makes a lot of sense. And I'm the same way. Like, I literally have only bought right now like 4 NFTs in the past month. I think I've sold probably 12. So my ratio is selling way more than buying. I did hedge with one project that I think, regardless of macro, is just such a utilized volume heavy product in our ecosystem. I can see it doing well or holding value. Other than that, I'm right there with you. I'm holding Liquid Soul, Spot Soul. I will capture that run to 32. If it wants to drop on me, I'll sit on it, add to it, and grab some NFTs like you're thinking, Big. I think that's a great point.
Well, and another thing too is we got the FOMC that's supposed to be released tomorrow, as far as like, what are interest rate hikes going to look like? What are they projecting? All that good stuff. We're expecting about a 25 bip hike in interest rates. So, look out for that. But if it meets expectations, I think we'll continue to rise a little bit. That'll meet expectations. I'm really curious to see what the next meeting holds more so. But I think there's just a lot of variables right there. And for me to be risk on right now, where I still very exposed to NFTs. Like I was aggressively selling. I did not aggressively sell enough in this run up. Not saying I don't think these projects are going to rebound, but I could have captured them at lower rates and captured that difference in cost. So it's just all these things to think about, right? We always talk about it on the show. Stay 2 steps ahead of the market. And I wasn't even staying that. I'm like, it's just very illiquid. I think you realize it when you have as many NFTs as I do. You're like, man, I'm selling heavily and I still have not sold enough. So I'm just, for me, I have enough exposure, and I'll just wait from the sidelines. If I miss some, I miss some. But going into it, let's talk another drop that happened over the weekend. Claynosaurs. Yes, Claynosaurs. Claynosaurs, I want to say the gift that keeps on giving, NFTs. they keep dropping NFTs. I don't know if they're giving on the floor price right now, but that's across the board. I know a lot of people are like, it's funny seeing tweets that are like, yo, project X, Y, Z, insert project here. You need to do something. Floor price is going down 60%. I'm like, bro, that's across all collections right now. It is not one collection that isn't down like 60+%. Outside of, DGods, really. DGods is the only thing that's held up pretty well. Utes as well. I don't know what's going on with Utes. DGods makes sense to me. They're going over to ETH, and there's liquidity over there. That market seems healthy, but everything else going down. Nonetheless, Claynosaurs did drop Clay. I think it was 3 guaranteed Clay per Claynosaur. Am I correct on that thinking?
3 per Clayno.
And then it was like a 10% chance per limited Clay the lowest tier Clay maker, 15% chance for the second tier, and then like 100% chance if you had a gold Clay maker. If you are one of 5 lucky people, you got gold Clay. Congrats,
oh boy, Curve.
I know Curve in the audience over there got his gold Clay. Congrats to you. That is a big dub. I love to see it, especially from a dude who always shows up in this ecosystem. That will be used for anything. It could be used unlimited times. Like that is a big dub, especially if they progress in this ecosystem. I kind of want to get your guys' take on Clay, because it was weird. This snapshot was taken forever ago. I did not expect Klanos to dump as much as they did, especially on a nice run up. And they went from 33. They're now sitting at 22.169. Guys, what's your thoughts? That seems like ridiculous to me. Why would you sell off now? I guess people didn't know that, and so it's a lot of paper handing and undercutters and just not enough buyers in this ecosystem. But for me, kind of seems like more of a buy. Like I'm already pretty exposed to Klanos. I think I have 7 still. I think I want more at these levels. What are your thoughts, Dor? And then we'll go over to Joe.
Yeah, I just think it has more to do with like the overall sentiment in the market. Just people not sure what's the direction Sol's going to go. So they're just trying to get more liquid, which in turn hurts the floor price of Klanos. I brought my Klanos around that 31 to 34 level. So I'm down bad. I missed out on the loan opportunity the first time during the first crash down to 20. It rebounded, and I managed to take some loans out for 24, 25 Sol. So I'm thinking about letting those default, depending on the price action of these things. Because like right now, it's like they're lower than my loan. So I'm like, hey, man, I'll just chill around for a bit, let price stabilize, and potentially pick up my 5 Klanos back at hopefully that 20 level that I'm looking at. So save myself like what, 20, 25 Sol? You'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm right there with you, Dor. I mean, luckily I did hedge a good portion of my Klano bag, but again, didn't do enough. Could have just hedged out all of them, and even to 30 Sol would have been a nice, decent profit. Joe, what are your thoughts on this? Why are Klanos dropping? I mean, that was a pretty that's like a 50% drop in floor price, even when the snapshot was taken, weeks ago. Do you think it was just market misinformation? Do you think it is market aversion to risk, like Dor's saying? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything, right? I think with Klanos, the play is more long term with what they're building, and there was a lot of speculation and hype around the complete drop, right? Having your Klano, having your clay maker, having the clay. The infographic came out, you know exactly what you can do now. Now the speculation's gone. People that took profit out, whatever they sell off, right? Sol's pumping, that narrative's pumping, FOMC meetings, people aren't sure. So it's all these different factors that just go into clay being lower, being undervalued, we call it now as an asset, right? We look at that as an undervalued asset. It would be below baseline if you're looking at a fair market value, from my opinion, right? But I don't know shit. So I'm actually looking and charting these as we speak because they do look oversold to me, because I don't think people, once they come back in and go, all right, here's a mechanism, here's what you can build, here's the map, all these different things that are interactive now, that hype comes back. So these are just hype cycles you have to learn to play. And like Dorian said, right, if you don't sell the top, then you double down at these prices, your average entry comes down, and then you're in a better position of strength when the price rebounds. I don't think these are going anywhere.
No.
I am in agreement. I do think for some reason it's something about Klanos, if they continue to execute at a high level, like they're doing. Dude, that I was looking at a tweet thread talking about the intricacies that came with the airdrop. This is the largest airdrop we've had on Solana. There was a lot that went into it. There's a lot of different mathematical like equations and different chances for different clay makers. You had 3 guaranteed per Klano, and by the way, your species guaranteed you one of the colors of the clay. It was a really interesting read, and the fact that they were able to pull it off in a really good fashion, to me, feels like this team knows how to execute. And so for me, when I see a team that knows how to execute at this high of level, even if they go down, I kind of want to average in right here. They are below my buy price. Most of my Klanos were bought at 26. So still a little bit down, but we can consider the rise in Sol price, and I'm happy where it is. But nonetheless, I kind of want to accumulate more. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I get this feeling, but they feel like they are programmed to go much higher. I would say 50 Sol at one point in time. So that's kind of what I'm banking on. One last headline before we get into it. Let's talk about Kets, guys. Let's talk about Kets. This is another art reveal that just, man. Okay, so full disclosure, I own no Kets. I love Kets.
Neither do I.
The original Kets, to me, were such a vibe. Like, they were their own vibe. They had a rabid community. And I've said this for a while, a rabid community. They were vicious. They were fun. And I think the red flag for me should have been seeing some early community members leaving the team. I cannot remember off the top of my head. I want to say, no, I'm going to butcher names, but I saw a few of them leave and I was like, man, they were like rocking a cat for a long time. They aren't. Now Enlightenment comes out and I saw previews for it and I said, that looks busy. Now seeing most of them, I'm going to let you guys have the floor. Let's go with Joe first and then Dor. What are your thoughts on Ket's Enlightenment?
Yeah, man, there was a time where I was like feeling FOMO on Cats. Because I was in D-Gods.
Yeah, dog.
I was in Stone Dave's, D-Gods, like all these sites. I remember missing that. Like I remember not even minting or anything. And they were a vibe, but you know, there was that speculation of Pablo, who he was, and once that came out, that dies. But then other than that, you know, it's like art progresses so quickly, and like what as a hive mind we like and perceive as good art. And like, dude, Solana's moving so fast that art, man, just like the hard lines and like, yeah, it was a vibe, but that art upgrade had to be like a D-God upgrade, right? Like it had to really incorporate what was new and near to dear to everyone's heart. And I don't think they did that. I think they added a lot of generative new traits that just conjagulated. That's not even a word. That's how it made me feel. Just a bunch of stuff that was like stressing me out on the screen all at once. So yeah, man, that's just not for a community that's backed by like the PFP power, like that's what that was, a vibe to have. Like you just kind of ruined that now. So like, what is your point of having a community-based PFP if nobody wants to rock it?
Yeah. Yep. I'm right there with you. Dor, what's going on with Cats? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? Do you like anything about it? Do you hate anything about it?
I mean, I during Cats when they first minted, man, as you said, Bison, that community was rapid, man. They everywhere, like 313? It's like it was popping off all over the timeline. Everybody was rocking a Cat. It's like ran up from like it hit 100 if I'm not mistaken. But I think a lot of that speculation was based off of that connection to the founder of Rick and Morty or something. And as soon as that was destroyed, it was like there was no speculation or hype that could have captured what that did for the project. And now with Enlightened sets, one thing that does well in this space is giving people more NFTs. However, with Enlightened sets, if I'm not mistaken, it's a wrap and not really airdrop or an upgrade. So you can just buy a set and just do an entanglement and then boom, you have it. But then even the Enlightened Cats don't look that good. They're like, as Joe was saying, they're like super busy. It's kind of conjagulated.
I'm coining that term, bro. Conjagulated, bro. Conjagulated. Let's go. Too busy. Making Joe's mind hurt.
Yeah, too much, bro. It's too much. I'm a simple-minded folk over here, dude. I can't take that much, man. I'm short functioning over here.
Anyways, Dor, sorry to cut you off.
Good, guys. No, that was it. Like I said, the collection makes me feel conjagulated too, Joe.
I will share my screen. This is what Dor's talking about real quick, just so you guys can see. If we go over here, we can see this is a cat that has been enlightened. It does come with the OG one. Love the OG cat. And I got to say, this other one doesn't look terrible, but again, it's just so busy. I've seen some that are hideous, dude. Some of them have like pustules and like this gross growth underneath their face and on their eyes. And I'm just like, what is this? But this one doesn't look terrible. You guys want to see it in a large view? Oh, wait. They have two forms of this. Okay. That's interesting too. I mean, you can rock which one you want to. It basically comes with 3 NFTs now. I think that's cool. You know, take it as you will. But for me, the art isn't it. You know, it's another one where it has been clearly shown that Solana cares about clean art. And I think we see that across a lot of collections. We love Lily. Still don't know why it's 7th Soul. We'll get into that in a little bit. We love D-Gods, and not so much D-Gods, the base one. The base one was kind of goofy looking to me sometimes on traits and stuff, but the Dead Gods are some of the best art. I don't care what your opinion is of it. For me, they are some of the best generative collection art I've ever seen. And what they did was they just made the really simple details like elegant You know, like they put a lot of details into it, but it wasn't super busy. It wasn't too much, and it was more finer details that still melded really well with the NFT itself. So, I think there is a way to do art upgrades, but for me, this is not it. Sorry, Cats community. I know you've been waiting on this for a while, and I don't care for it. So it's not it for me. That's just my personal take. So, guys, I think we covered all the headlines. Let's talk Alpha. Please don't cut out on me, Restream. Please don't do it.
Restream doesn't want to spill in the Alpha, dog.
I know. It's been a while since we had an Alpha corner. Let's talk about what you guys are looking at right now. I want to kick it over to you first, Dor, then we'll go to Joe, and then I'll wrap it up for us.
Yeah, man. So, sorry, 1 second. Oh, there we go. So, Klanos is a big one for me. Like, even if I let my loans default, I do plan on buying back in. I just think the team knows what they're doing. Cab is super solid, been in the space for a while. Even the CEO is very knowledgeable about the Web3 space, and I just pretty confident in this team, man. I do think we're going, once Sol stabilizes and we see a rebound in the NFT market, we're going to start seeing Klanos run, especially with all these game mechanics they're coming out with, and I'm super excited for those as well. Another one on the radar, UGS. We had Jake on, last Thursday? Dude, Core is, I think, is going to be pivotal to helping Solana scale in terms of bringing newcomers and NFT, allowing them to purchase high-valued NFTs for a low cost initial cost basis. The fact that you can just open your browser tab and purchase off of any marketplace is bullish to me. So I got several UGS, and honestly, they've been holding their price pretty solid, man. I got mine between 11 and 12, and they're down a little bit, but that's fine. Like, there's other collections down a lot more. So I'm pretty confident and bullish long-term on UGS. Another one, my boy Bison and Juice's project, the Heist. I'm telling you, anytime I get a pre-sale opportunity, I'm maxing out, dude. Got some in Monkey DAO. Cyber Samurai has some coming later today. I will probably not get those just because, I like to give it to the community. So you guys are lucky.
Thank
I love
you.
Yeah,
Thank
no problem.
I appreciate it. No, seriously, like I hate that pre-sale meta is a thing. Obviously, you know how it is, guys. I wish it wasn't a thing, but it does help generate a bunch of hype and does give us funds to help further our development in order to bring you the best possible game right off of launch. Anyways, continue, Dor.
No problem. Yeah. So the Heist, we have some pre-sale opportunities coming up for Cyber Samurai today. Specifically, Well and Elder Council holders. We already selected the Ronin holders that are able to pick up one. And then another project I'm kind of bullish on, or at least looking forward to. I'm really bullish on gamified type NFTs coming out, hence the Heist. But Run Dead, that's another one I'm looking forward to as well. They're having some pretty cool prizes. So even if it doesn't mint out, I think they sold off 30 to 40% of their collection in pre-sale, which is a 10K collection. So I'm looking forward to at least play that. I don't know how well it will do on secondary. If it does generate enough hype, there might be trading opportunities there. But hey, if it doesn't, I got a good opportunity to potentially win a Bored Ape. So yeah, that sounds good to me. And finally, the night market. I know we were going to touch on this. I don't know what you wanted to exactly talk about, but like the mint price for that was a little high. However, sometimes I sacrifice. I think it's important to believe in your convictions and be the change you want to see. I'm tired of Magic Eden. And so regardless if the price was a bit high, I'm hoping to either make it back through Sauce token or even the valuation of the NFT itself, but also just to show support to Ryan, like him coming on the show, such a well-spoken and nice dude. I want to see him succeed and that project succeed. So yeah, man, I'm still bullish on the night market whenever that's launched. Hopefully, which it should be soon. You say Q1 2023. So, but yeah, and final alpha is loans. Look, I can't tell you guys enough. It's like Bison, Joe, and myself are always talking about loans on this show. Learn how to utilize them because it prevents against the downside, dude, while you're still able to capitalize on upside if the market bounces back. I'm telling you, people do not know how to use loans right now and put out loans way higher than they should be, which you can take advantage of. Guess what? All I got to say for those individuals giving out bad loans, learn your lesson and don't do it anymore. Otherwise, I'm going to keep taking them out for you if you're providing them. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. But yes, learn how to use loans to your advantage to hedge against downside while still being able to capture that potential upside for like 1 or 2 SOL, depending on the project. Yeah, man, it's pretty insane.
Couldn't agree more, Dor. Yeah, we'll follow up on some of those in a second. But Joe, want to kick it over to you. What are you looking at right now, brother? I know you kind of sidelined like myself, not looking at NFTs too hard, but I'm scoping entries in more of a if-then scenario where it's like, if we break this level and we hold it and we start ranging, this is when I want to buy. Else, I kind of want to see Solana break down to, 20, 18, whatever the supports are, and then I'll evaluate from there. What are you looking at right now in terms of NFTs, in terms of your trading?
Yeah, so I've re-entered the market a bit here today. I bought Sharkies at 12.2 to 12.4, 4 of them, just because I think they've bottomed out and they have rev share coming, new UI UX experience to stack Sharky, fishy rewards, upgrade rev share amounts through those points that you've gathered from using the experience. So you can literally, if you own a Sharky, you're basically paying yourself back for using the platform, right? So you have a bunch of Sharky points or whatever, you can use those to your Shark to upgrade as more rev share you get back. That's me speculating. I don't know if that's for sure yet. So I just see them, like, regardless of macro with Sol, they just have so much volume going through their market. And I think we've seen enough of a correction that I feel comfortable getting some exposure with them. My second is I did buy one Klano from Elixir because I saw a new pool pop up and it was like 20.68 with 3 Klanos in there. So I grabbed one, and then they literally right after the whole pool shut down, they're back up to like 22. So like I am looking for another entry there just for some pay. I might put a collection offer in and try to get another couple Klanos, because I do think once the map hits, the UI UX hits for upgrading everything, I think people are really going to buy in. And they're a good team, man. You give them time to build, and they understand hype cycles. This isn't going to be the last thing they push. So I'm looking at those 2 Klanos, Sharky, and I'm looking at Bonk. I did buy a little bit at the support system, see if we can get back to a 0.1. That's a very speculative degen play of myself, but that's like SPL NFTs what I'm looking at the moment.
Yeah, good takes. I like all of them. I'm in the same boat. So one, Door, like you were saying, take advantage of loans. Make sure you're limiting your downside. I do think it's so vital that you understand that ecosystem. So I love the Sharks play, love Sharkify. Please don't change the dang thing, because I don't want you to. Second, shout out to Soul Sniper. I gotta say, this is not sponsored or anything like that. This is a very free tool you can use. Everybody can use it. It's soulsniper.xyz. In case you don't know already, I love Soul Sniper. I love it so much. It has helped me make informed decisions, as well as capture some stuff with their Soul Sniper bot. I was skeptical. I don't really like sniper bots, because I don't know how to use them most of the time. This one is so easy to use. It is not hard. And I got to capture clays. So when clays dropped for Claynosaurs, I was able to capture 5 white clays for under 1.5, and I was able to determine which clays I wanted because I saw the class breakdown, which clays you needed, and I was shouting it out in the samurai or the dojo. Hey, I think white and green are going to be the valuable ones. Turned out to be right. They were the most valuable ones. Ran up to 2.3. I did sell them all at 2.2 for the ones I bought, and then I have my allocation as well. They did dip back down, so I am looking to buy more clays because I think there is some mechanics there that we don't know of yet. And I do think white and green are the way to go. If you want the other ones too, you can scope some out lower. I don't think that we know the use cases for clay right now is that you're going to be able to determine your class for your NFT. So just speculative play, but I think there's going to be more utility that comes with clay. Claynosaurs, I love what we are seeing on charts right now. And the reason I am looking to possibly enter in before this, breakup or breakdown of Sol, because I think we are at an indecision point. I would love to see above 26. And if we don't hold 22, 20, I think we go back into the teens. And in which case I will reevaluate my NFT stance then. But I'm seeing a lot of double bottoms. I'm seeing it like Klaynos is forming a dramatic one where it is, you know, it kind of bottomed out around that 21-20 range at the first time, ran up to 33 after we called
I
it.
just posted that too. So that's confluence, guys. Like literally, he saw that as I'm seeing it too. Like that's what I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's just stuff I love. Like when someone I trust, like Bison, like one of your friends you trust, you see something that they see, but you haven't talked yet. Like that's like, you know, a nuance that you take in and go, all right, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good. I love talking about reasons why we like buying NFTs and what we're looking for. For me, I'm much more on the technical side with a little bit of fundamentals. Dorian's more fundamentals, and then Joe's pretty much straight technicals with a little bit of like, hey, I know what's coming. So I see double bottom possibly forming. I am a buyer under 21.5. Really, if I can get to 21.5 or lower, that's a buy signal for me on Klanos. The reason being is, again, the chart looks like it's forming a double bottom. I still think there's enough bullish catalysts on the horizon. For me, that is a buy. I look at UGS. I'm glad you brought up UGS. I know we just had him on the show, and I did say it looks like a really interesting level. If I look at that chart, I know core is coming out, by the way. Core should be coming out soon. If you missed that episode, please go back and check in on it. Jake is a very smart dude, very eloquent. I would encourage you to listen to him because he had answers for all of our questions. Literally every single one. The hardest one was how to deal with Lollipop. Like that was the hardest one for him. So please go back and check out that interview. You can check it out on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you want to listen to. We are forming a double bottom there. There was a double bottom around 8.95, which is also a nice little level of support leading up to the run up to 20. For me, I like seeing all those supports, double bottoming on support. That looks like a strong buy to me. And knowing that they have something coming up, again, just trying to use probability to my advantage. That looks strong probability to run up, especially if we start catching up with stuff. Love ovals, love Sharkify. If I am playing the secondary market right now, those are really the ones I want to look at. And then I also like Liberty Square. We are back to like 11, 12 SOL for them. This is just one that has a ton of community sentiment behind it. I don't even know what they're cooking up right now. But I am also seeing if I can get something a little under 10 for it and it bounces around 10, that's when I would look to buy. Not looking, I still like the other plays a little better, but Liberty Square is one that I still am looking at and I say, this is a really interesting level. This was resistance, flip support, then resistance again, flip back to support. And so you know it's a really interesting level. This level of 10 SOL, around 10 SOL, 9.96, whatever you want to look at, for me, it's a really interesting level, and I want to check in on it. So those are really the secondary plays I'm looking at. And then as far as the mints go, already said I have Motley DAO pre-sale, so definitely super excited for that. I would say the reason I wanted to talk about it earlier, Dor, is that I just like had an epiphany. All they need to do in order to capture market share is take a little bit of a hit at first, like take a little bit of a hit, just decide, hey, whatever, I'm gonna skip out on marketplace fees. And it doesn't have to be completely. Like you can literally make it to where there's no listing fee and buyers only have to pay 1%. You would capture so much market share. Listers could then list without having to worry about a maker fee. Buyers will always be attracted to where listings are because you want the NFT you want. If you just did that for like a 3-month period, let's say, you had a nice UI, UX, they had sauce governance token. Like, dude, I think the community would rally behind that and then just say, like, set the standard. Eventually we will raise it to where, we go to 1.5, 2%. And again, I would make it on the selling side, but you would have to wait till you crush Magic Eden's market share. So it would have to be for a while, but you need to take that hit at first. If they do that, I think sky's the limit. I also think, don't make royalties enforceable unless it's like stated in the contract. The reason being is, again, I like the option for it. People will always go where there's less fees, especially when we're not trading for like 10x's, right? It's just a reason. So if it's baked into it, sure, honor it. But if not, then you got to wait till that standard comes out or it becomes more widely adopted again. That would be my
that's why it's like I brought a lot of Motley DAO because it's like I want to see Magic Eden fall. Like I think I know I can't do it alone, but if I recognize an opportunity to support somebody who I think can, and I can now have an opportunity to contribute to them, I'm going to do so. And the best thing about Motley DAO is like all those things that you just suggested, Bison, I agree with, and we could actively bring those up to adjust it in the night market. So that's why it's like, I'm super bullish on it. I'm going to contribute in any form that I can to like implement some of those things that you were talking about. And because we are pretty, I don't want to say we're like whales in it, at least I don't know if we are at this point, but I do think we, with 10 to 12, it's like, it's some type of influence.
Yeah. And that's another reason is that we get to hopefully vote on this at some point or bring it up in discussion. At least we have input, which is not something we have in Magic Eden. The only reason you get input is if you're Pokey Panda trying to sweep 69 D gods and you said, hey, I want the sweep function increase. And then they lauded around saying, look at what we did. We increased our sweep function so we make more money.
But that D-list function, dog, it's the worst, dog. It's the worst. Oh, it's the nightmare.
Oh, and by the way, you have to pay a fee on it if you relist. Because that's how makers work. That's how maker fees work. It's not even a listing fee. It's a maker fee. So yes, going into that, those are all the projects I'm looking at. We talked about mints. Motley's definitely the first one. I have a bag, guys. I literally bought it on stream while we were talking with Ryan. It's no secret. I have 10 pre-sales. Everybody had access to pre-sales. I don't want to hear it. I did get access to DGen Legends pre-sale. Not just through Cyber Samurai. I actually had it through Catalina Whales first, but I bought 3 of them. The reason I bought them is because they seem like cool people. Reading over their, just highlights and stuff like that. Seems like it tackles a lot of fun metas, esports, gambling eventually, stake for their token. You'll have raffles, all that good stuff. That sounds fun. The pre-sale was 2 SOL, and the whitelist sale is going to be 3.5. That seemed like a nice spread. That seemed incentivized to actually buy right now. So I did. About 3 of them. I also played Runiverse with them. We did have like a little Runiverse event where I got to play with them, and a lot of those guys were very cool. So again, just like Door does, I supported cool people. I saw enough of a EV spread there to go into pre-sale, so I did. And then there's a mind-boggling amount of really cool mints coming up that I think should be on everybody's radar. And what you decide to ape into, or what you get whitelist for, or what you get pre-sale for, it's totally up to you, and what DAOs you get allocation for. Obviously, I'm on the Heist team. I'm the CMO over there. We'll really be starting our marketing push here probably in the next week or so. But there's already enough buzz about it. Do we have like 4,500 followers on our Twitter? And we have not even tweeted anything yet. Like the hype is there. Crazy. Everybody I talk to, I can't even talk in group chats anymore. They say, oh, hey, Bison, win whitelist. And I say, God, pre-sale allocation, by the way. And I'm like, guys, I don't have a whole lot of say in pre-sale allocation. Like Longwood Labs has a lot of input on that. We gave our largest by far pre-sale allocation was to REMS, because honestly, we want to make sure that they have an allocation as early supporters of us. And then we also want to make sure they didn't have 1-to-1, because then that just skew our ownership count. And again, we don't want to do that. We don't, just want to create like an ownership issue. So Heist, Wolf Capital, love Jay Shep, super bullish on Jay Shep. Love Wolf Capital, Bodogos. We love Easy over here. Easy's the homie. We'll always support Easy. There's a couple others that I'm missing. I love the Run Dead Call. I actually looked into them, Door. They seem really cool. Man, what's another one? RainFi seems cool, but I still am more bullish on UGS, so I'd probably do that instead.
Dude, sorry, with RainFi, it's like their UI is too confusing to me, and I don't like the way they issue out loans where individuals have to select the collection that they want to provide liquidity for. It's so weird. It's so weird. But continue. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're fine. Door, I think this goes back, and this is a good learning point for everybody, is like, the reason I didn't buy into bonks is because it didn't fit my narrative, but it fits other people's narrative. So it's the same thing with RainFi. I see enough buzz about it. I see enough smart people talking about it. That's for me a trading play. I'm not going to hold on to it. Still more bullish on UGS and Core's function, but I see enough people that it would fit a certain niche or a niche or whatever you want to pronounce it as. And therefore I see value in it. So if I can get pre-sale or anything like that, or if I can get whitelist and it's a good EV spread for me, it's a reasonable mint cost, I'm going to go into it. But there's a ton of like these 2 to 3 SOL mints that are happening that are actually backed by really good people, really good teams that I think a lot of people should be looking at. So those are just a few. I know I'm missing some. I'm sorry if I missed you, but there is just so I could literally rattle off like a bajillion of them. They just there's so many good ones on the right. Oh, last one. I knew I was forgetting one. Bastards. Now, Bastards, if you haven't seen the trailer, is the best trailer I've seen in NFTs, and I'm saying that completely unbiased, even though we do have some overlap on Heist and Bastards team. I love those guys. They are so smart. They know how to market. Dan killed it with the trailer. Seriously, it is one of the best trailers I've ever seen, or teasers. One of the most engaged ones I've ever seen. Dude, this thing has like 6,000 likes or something like that. So sentiment is there. If you go into the Discord, it is just like, it's fun. Honestly, it's so fun. We're just like cracking up in our team Discord, laughing about it because Billy the Rat is like the meme over there. It's so funny to me. For me, just seems like a really good branding project. I am all about Bastards. It looks really good to me. So definitely another one on my radar. I just think there's a ton. I think that about does it for me on mints I'm looking for. Guys, is there anything else you want to input or wrap up with? I know I talked for like 10 minutes. Holy cow. But there's just a lot of projects out there that I just like keeping heavy eyes on, still trying to stay liquid. But if the entry points are right, I'm going to go for them.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm not mad at you for rambling on for a minute because like everything you talked about was solid, man. And I'm right there with you. It's like while the market's down, it's like we're starting to see momentum shift in the sense of like pick up these projects while they're down because it ain't going to be down forever. And when things turn around, they turn around quick. So it's better to get solid positions while you can. And all these mints that you talked about that's coming is going to only take a couple good mints before positive sentiment returns. And the one mint that does bring it back, we might see things pop off across the board. So yeah, like all the projects you mentioned, Bison, I think are be good trades or at least good opportunities to get whitelist for pre-sales.
Yeah, and I would keep your eyes open for all of them because I know a lot of them are trying to be well distributed. Another one I forgot about, Sandbar. Oh my goodness. Like there's so much good stuff coming out, dude. And they're all, again, this does feel a little bit like drinking water from a fire hose, but at least it's like spring water and not sewage water, right? Like this is like good, clear water. I'll take all of it in because there's so many good mints coming out. So I am all about them. There's a lot of good ones on the horizon. Yeah, I think that about does it. But yeah, Dor, I think there's a lot to be excited for in NFT world. It's just a matter of what Sol does.
Yep.
Joe, how did you feel about all of that? Is there any one of those mints that particularly stands out to you?
Yeah, I think I mean you hit the nail on the head, but yeah, I think Sandbar will print. I think one collection from NFT Backpack will print.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget about WoW, dude? Oh my, like there's so much good stuff.
That's gonna print. You know what I'm saying? GigaDAO, that's gonna print.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Motley DAO, that'll print. You have Pirate Squad, that's gonna print. You got the Heist coming up, that's gonna print. Wolf Capital, that'll print. I mean, it just really is crazy when you think about it. It's kind of exciting to be back in the swing of things here with some cool mints coming up because we have a dry period for so long. So it'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, dude. And a lot of them come with unique value propositions that like I look at it, I'm like, you could fill a market niche. You could fill a market niche. And I think there's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of NFT-fi. There's a lot of gambling, gaming, game theory, obviously with Heist, lending with Wolf Capital and like fun interchangeable traits and partnering with good artists. Like there's so much to be excited for on the horizon. And that's why I want to stay liquid, y'all. Like, I probably went too hard into Motley. Not saying I don't like Motley, but I love their value proposition. Ryan was such an eloquent speaker, and I do believe like if they are able to capture that market share, that I hope they do, it will pay off. But like I need to be liquid right now because there is so much good stuff coming on the horizon, and that's why I'm looking at these secondary plays like I'd rather kind of wait for the mints, which is the first time in a while I've said that.
It's so great because I think that's the best clear display of our trading styles. It's like, while I'm excited for all these mints, it's like if I get one whitelist, it's like I'll just immediately floor it for like 2 to 3 SOL above the floor just so it can sell. I don't care. It's like I'm not a trader like you guys. So I'm like, if I know it's going to print, that's nice. I don't care if I miss a 3 or 4x because I'm not paying that much attention to it. While like something with Motley, it's like I'd rather have Motley than be liquid for these whitelists because probably not going to do it anyway. It's like I'm not trading like you guys, so it's like, oh, it's fine with me missing all of these because I'm not going to touch them.
Well, see, but like the reason I'm so excited for him and Dor, I'm right there.
Solid project. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there's just a period where like absolute dog water was coming out for projects.
Oh yeah.
These are not like these. I look at all these and I'm like, they could deliver, and not just deliver, but like I know we are aiming to have something playable ready launch on mint day that you can play. And I think a lot of these projects will. I think they will have something right out the gates where it's not this like pilots, man. They spent so much time on their art, which again is not a bad thing. I don't think it's bad. But when it's delay after delay, I think their raid event was kind of cool. I don't know if you guys got to play it, which I guess we can go into it, but I think it was cool seeing like a collaboration of people. I still think they have kinks to work out, but pilots are down bad right now. They're at 18. Whew. I just think right now you have to have something ready to go right out the gates, especially in a high competitive, lots of quality mints coming out.
No, I agree, man. Like I didn't touch pilots. Pilots are one of the things I told you guys before. It's like if I wanted to get back in the Tayo ecosystem, I just pick up a Gen 1. I don't find pilots has enough utility of what I'm looking for in order for me to get them. Like while they might have and even with the upside potential of it is dependent upon the Gen 1 and Gen 2 floors. Like I don't think you're going to see pilots pump past infants. So it's just like even that's capped. So it's like I always look for the projects within that ecosystem that has the highest likelihood of return and the safest one too. And I think I would just go with an infant or a Gen 1 over pilot. So I haven't been paying any attention to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still excited for pilots. I just like the art hump. It's the same thing with Lily, and it's the reason I think Lily took forever. Like now that they're finally getting on to what is going to be expected for Lily, just past the art, they took forever on launching their legendaries, and I think there's a certain pace you need to play into when it comes to like you had so much attention on you. You had like 300K plus soul volume right out the rip. Like your art was really good. It still is very good. It is one of the best PFP collections I've seen. It's one of my favorite arts on Solana. But what was next? You know, like we're staking for all this stuff. What's going to happen after that? So it's one of those things that I think a lot of people need to realize there's a pace of play. You need to release some stuff. Don't come out with everything at the gates, but eventually, you know, just start trickling some stuff in that it's like, oh, this is coming. Snap. Like I think Claynosaurus has done a really good job, but even their floor prices suffered a little bit. So, you know, there's a game to play. It's really hard finding that pace of play, but a lot of cool stuff coming on the horizon. Guys, any last remarks? Let's go ahead and wrap up the show. I know we're over our hour mark, but there was so much to talk about. We haven't had a good alpha corner for a while, y'all.
Nah, dude, I appreciate everybody that took time to watch us today, man. I feel like our audience is growing every episode. Like we've been doing this for, I don't know, like 6-7 months now. Hey, and we're finally starting to get some steam. So it's nice. Just got to keep on going. So I appreciate you guys always tuning in to watch us.
Yeah, absolutely. Before Joe wraps us up here, I do want to urge everybody, seriously, thank you so much for your support. The only way we grow is the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're sharing on Twitter. Seriously, like some of our early supporters always do, but hitting a retweet does so much for our audience. We do appreciate it. Make sure you're watching all our content, listening to us on podcasts. This is how we grow, is by making sure we are delivered to every single ear in the Solana ecosystem. That is what we're aiming to do. Joe, why don't you sign us off, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, guys. Just be smart out there. Don't over leverage yourself, right? And always keep liquidity. You might want to go all in on a project, but make sure you got some soul on the side because there's always going to be another play, and you'll end up selling out of a position that you shouldn't because you're FOMO. So if you keep liquidity, you'll always be available and ready to go. So make sure you keep a nice bag of USDC or USDT, your preferred stablecoin, ready to go.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
I think that's wise words to send off on. That'll about do it for us on this show, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please retweet, please share, please listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We do upload momentarily after each episode. Check us out on there. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube. We are streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for your support. As always, we'll see you on the next episode of RareFUD Radio. Have a great day, y'all.